place to go. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the metal man. Grab a stack of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Keyboard's here, it's time for a party, and Chris has got the comment started. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the metal man. Grab a stack of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a stack of rock. Grab a stack of rock.
Hey everybody, welcome to Grab a Stack of Rock. You can tell it's Grab a Stack of Rock by the logo right behind me. And unfortunately, the Mad Metal Man could not be with us today. It is currently 3 in the morning, or is it 4 in the morning in Australia? They don't have daylight savings time. So instead of the Mad Metal Man, I would like to introduce instead the Jex Cider himself, Mr. Jex Russell. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing great, Mike. How you doing?
Oh, super, man. It's great to see you.
You too. You too. I love these afternoon shows. The sun is shining. It's nice.
Well, here's the thing is I like the afternoons as well. It is gorgeous here. I hope you can hear the birds, but it gives me the evening free to relax and enjoy the sunset and all that other good stuff. And also there's a very important hockey game on tonight. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it's do or die. Go Leafs, go. Big shout out to Chris Sarr out there. And we have Grace Shield watching tonight, the famous harp player who is behind the cassette Landings, which was that silver background that we saw earlier. Grace, if you want to join us, feel free. I know you have the link, but because Grace is watching right now, before we get started, Jex, why don't we tell the folks here that I scored big time last Saturday at the Max the Axe garage sale. She's not famous, but I don't know, Grace. You're all over my Instagram, so to me, you're Instagram famous, and too kind. Yes, well, she might join in the StreamYard then. Okay, you're more than welcome. Anyway, I scored big time at the Maxi Axe garage sale. Now
it's
I know
the hall to end all halls. It's amazing.
It was amazing, and I'm going back like next week to pick up more stuff. Now, you are a regular, or you're now a regular reader of T-Bone Man. Yes. And his last episode of T-Bone Man was a Maxi Axe episode that Harrison wrote, where Maxi Axe owned, hello. Oh, I know you. You are from the Palace of Madness. Yes, hello. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Sorry, I keep losing my train of thought every time I put a comment on the screen.
So Maxi Axe and the
right.
T-Bone.
So Harrison wrote this story where Max owned a thrift shop called $1 Trillion Treats, which was based off of his album called $1 Trillion Threats. And the weird thing is that was posted about 3 weeks ago, and then last weekend I went to this garage sale, and it was truly $1 Trillion Treats, and I got so much stuff, and I've been joking, and Harrison even wrote it into the story that Maxi Axe would try to sell me a tape deck. And so the very first thing I did was buy a Kenwood tape deck. And I made a little video to demo that Kenwood tape deck. And in that demo, I used Grace Shield's new EP called Landings. Hi, Grace!
Oh my gosh, hello!
Meet my buddy Jex here from New Brunswick.
Hello, Jex. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
We were just talking about you.
You're talking too many nice things. I feel like I gotta I gotta, something has to go wrong for me today for everything to even out.
Well, I everything's sincere. I love Landings, and as you are aware, I just played it on the cassette version for the first time because I just got this new Kenwood deck.
Nice.
How would you like to see this demo with your music in it?
I'm down.
All right, let's take a look at this demo of this Kenwood tape deck, featuring the music of Grace. Hey, Grab a Stack of Rock. This is my new Kenwood KXW 1060 dual tape deck that I just got at Max the Axe's garage sale. This was $20. And let's give it a listen, shall we? We're going to pop in Grace Shield's new EP, Landings,
which is a cassette only release. Well, aside from the usual digital, look at that. You've seen this on the show before. Grace was my guest, and it's a beautiful cassette. It's a concept album about the moon landing. So let's check it out. I just know this tape is going to get all fingerprinty at some time. All right. Oop, there we go. Okay, so this doesn't have the nice soft touch buttons that my old deck had, but it sounds a lot better. Now, this might not be the best tape to demo, but, you know, at least I'm not going to get a copyright strike for playing Van Halen or Metallica. She's a harp player, and that is harp that you are hearing. There's very little hiss. There's very little noise. Turn up the volume a bit. And yes, the music is supposed to sound this way. So that, my friends, is my new Kenwood deck. Thanks to Max the Axe, who's been trying to sell me a tape deck for, oh God, like 3 to 4 years at this point. 3 to 4 years he's been trying to sell me a tape deck, and I finally said okay. $20, well worth it. Sounds so much better than my old Techniques, which was, I bought it in about 1997-ish. So yeah, it needed some loving care, and this sounds great. Check out Landings by Grace Shield. It's fantastic.
Wow.
It is.
Oh, you're too kind.
Do you want to tell Jex real briefly about the concept of this cassette? Because you and I have already discussed it.
Yeah, sure. Well, like you know, like the TLDR, the long thing short. It's basically like a 20-minute improv live set I did for the Aga Khan Moon Festival, celebrating Apollo 11's the 50th anniversary. So I ended up turning that into an EP. It's basically like improvised harp, a lot of boat harp, and then samples from the moon landing and from some newsreels at the time period.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it. And I have a respect and appreciation that you released it on cassette format, you know, bringing the formats of yesterday, keeping them alive. I think that's brilliant. That's great.
Yeah, well, because like I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I feel like the lovely thing about cassette is that like it's a physical medium. You can turn your computer off. You can just plug it in, you know,
Yes.
detach. And like, and if you feel like it, you can like, you know, stretch it, re-sample it, you know, cut it into loops. But I feel like it's just such a physical medium that I couldn't resist.
I wasn't aware that you did physical tape modifications in your art.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to get more into it, into like, you know, taking the scissors to tape. But like making tape loops and then having them record and then going into it makes a really, really cool like echo or delay kind of effect.
And this is stuff that they did back like when I was a teenager, basically before digital kind of took over in the 90s. And you know, I remember hearing Tom Schultz from Boston talking about splicing a tape and how nerve-wracking it is because once you've spliced your master, cut your master, you know, you've cut your master.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure that's the same for you. It can be nerve-wracking, I'm sure.
Yeah, like the nice thing, like I'm not excited that like, cause I am excited cassette has had a resurgence. I'm not excited for like them to be no longer 25 cents at the thrift store for me to just like buy and snip up and experiment with. But they say like cassette sales are outselling even vinyl this year.
That's so odd. Now, just speaking of what you just said about the cost of the cassettes, Max was telling me that he was selling his Maxells for like $10 a pop. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised to hear that cassettes are outselling vinyl, but that's so trippy. Part of today's show, and you're welcome to hang out as long as you want. You're more than welcome, or if you have better things to do, that's totally fine too. But part of today's show is nostalgia, and you know, I'm sure you know some of Dr. Catherine's history, that she's the cottage and whatnot. You know, we've been coming up here for this building here is 43 years old, and in the bedroom right over there, I listened to so many of these things, and so cassettes mean a lot to me. And the sound of the cassette when the batteries in the Walkman start to wind down, all these memories.
Yeah.
And I think when I was talking to the Seagram synth guys last year, we were talking about analog, and they were kind of surprised. I was very anti-cassette at that time, but I didn't realize it was my equipment.
Yeah.
It was my equipment. Your cassette sounds great.
Thank you. I had a really good, because you're supposed to like mix master things a little bit different for cassette than you do digital. But I had a really fantastic engineer, Jojo Worthington, who worked on the cassette version of Landings.
So I haven't done like an A/B comparison between the digital and the cassette mix, but do you think I will hear a difference in my ears?
You might hear some like a little bit less room noise in the cassette, because like putting it on tape adds so much in terms of warmth, in terms of kind of like, I don't want to say noise, but like a lo-fi essence.
Sure.
And so we kind of took some of that out of the digital recording, just knowing that by putting it on tape, it would kind of have that organically.
I think that, Jax, are you kind of blown away that
I'm learning so much. Like, I don't know anything about like engineering and production, and hearing all of this, like I never knew. So this is great. Yeah.
Well, personally speaking, like I tend to read the credits on albums when I buy them, but you never hear about an album that was specially mastered for the cassette format, You never hear about, or especially mixed, I should say. Especially mastered, yes. Especially mixed for the cassette format. You never hear about that.
Well, I imagine like when artists release things in different formats, it's usually the same engineer on all of it. So you might not necessarily say like the cassette mixed and mastered by same person, and then CD, same person, CD.
Well, that's true.
So I imagine like this version was only special because I had a different engineer on the digital version versus the cassette version.
Interesting. And I love the Chrome, of course. It's the only cassette of its type in my collection that I've ever had, ever.
I like low-key have used like I kept one for myself, but I've low-key used it as a mirror behind my equipment when I'm plugging things in.
When you say you kept one for yourself, they're sold out?
Almost. I think I've got about 15 left.
Wow.
But I have a show on the weekend, so I'm hoping more copies will take off. But it's a limited run. There's only like one run of the platinum ones, so they will be gone soon, if not shortly.
And I'm fortunate to have two.
Yes.
Because I was so impressed, Jax. I don't know if you saw her show when she was on previously, but it comes hand wrapped in silver foil with stickers,
Yeah.
And it's that custom, unique touch that made me think I need to keep a sealed copy, because this is something kind of unique,
Yeah.
I don't have anything like that in my collection, and even like the sealed and foiled copy looks cool.
Yeah.
And she throws in special treats, and the last one had Pop Rocks.
Yeah.
So did you specially wrap those yourself, Grace? Like
I did. Yeah. Well, because it's funny because like it came out of like, this is the first time I've ever like ordered cassettes, and I didn't realize that you had to order them wrapped specially. So when I got them, I was like, all of them I can like open and touch, and I wanted it to be sealed. So I was like, okay, what's kind of like a little bit like earth friendly alternative packaging? And I was like, tinfoil. I'll just use aluminum foil. It matches the aesthetic. It's like you can actually make like a tinfoil hat with the wrapping and then put it on the cassette. I forgot. So many uses, yes. But I thought that was funny, just like tying it with space and having that little like, oh no, like they're coming for me, I gotta make my foil hat kind of a vibe.
It also kind of reminds me of the way like the Moonlander, it was more gold foil.
Yeah.
But it still reminds me of that foil aesthetic from the Moonlander. Oops,
Yeah.
I just knocked over my water bottle.
So like an accident that turned out well, I think.
I think it's brilliant. And much better than plastic.
Yeah.
If I want to wrap up like some baby carrots.
Yeah. Now you've like buy a cassette, wrap up your baby carrots. You're set.
You
really
are set. You are totally set. So this has been performed live, but Am I to understand only once? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
So it was performed live at the Aga Khan Museum's their Moon Landing Festival back in 2018. And then I went a couple months later into the studio and then recorded two different versions. Like since it's more of like an improvised structure in terms of like I know at what point the samples come in or like what point of the narrative that I'm trying to tell. Because it is very linear in that sense of like you get the prep, you get the liftoff, you get the we landed, and then the reflection back on it with some interviews from people remembering the 50th anniversary towards the end of the cassette. But everything that I did from point A to point B was like, okay, like what's the music? What's the music trying to say? What do these samples try to say? And how it kind of unfolds and goes from there.
It's truly is a concept album.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to make, and I think like with the Kickstarter and everything, that it's like silver. I couldn't have asked for like a better way to release it.
It's certainly unique. Like I said, I don't have anything like that in my collection. Why did my screen get dark there? There we go. Okay. We're all together here. The Wi-Fi can be dicey up here. What was I going to say? Also on the cover art with the picture of the moon. That's fantastic as well. Love that.
Yeah. My Connery Valentine is the artist.
And the logo. Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. So pick it up. Pick it up. I guess if you're one of those lucky people going to the gig, there's 15 copies left. But for everybody else, you can listen digitally.
Yeah.
And I love the seamless version that you have where it's the entire thing without being broken into tracks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Jex, it isn't like you can tell where you are in the story. You know, it's very cool. It is very cool. You know, I hear elements of Floyd and I hear elements of just, you know, classic science fiction movies and things like that. And it just brings me back to like youth. It's great.
I like the little bit I heard, so I'll listen to the whole thing for sure. And now, where can people buy the cassette, like the ones that are left?
They can get them on Bandcamp, on my Bandcamp. So if you just look up Glacial Bandcamp, I think I put the link in the YouTube chat. I'm gonna try that again. But yeah, you can just go to Bandcamp or you can go to glacial.com. The front page will take you to get cassettes. But Bandcamp, yes.
There you go. Cool.
I don't know why it's not showing up in the comments, but we'll try to get you a link when I post this a little bit later on. We'll do that.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to continue looking at some stuff. You're more than welcome to hang out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I must say, like, it has been fun, but unfortunately, I do have to get back to work. I was like, oh, I'll just pop on and say hi. And you're come on board. Oh,
thank you for spending some time with us. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, great gigs, sell out of those tapes, and maybe consider keeping a sealed one for yourself.
It's my one copy. It's my studio mirror. Thanks so much for having me. I will leave you to all the good times.
Take care. Have a great one.
Meeting you.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So the other thing we found at Max the Axe's garage sale, as we discussed between you and I, are Mad magazines. And then it just turned out, without us having ever discussed it before, you're sort of an aficionado of Mad magazine.
Yeah, well, I love it. Once again, today's topic is nostalgia, and I have great nostalgia reading Mad magazines when I was so little. My dad, he would go to get his haircut, and he would take me with him, and I'd wait in the little waiting area. And the hairstylist there had she'd always have a stack of Mads. And it would change every time I go. It's like she'd update the stack. So I'd always read, through the stack. And every time she would let me bring one home, a Mad magazine. So that's kind of where
very cool
the collecting began. And so I have that soft spot, but I just love it. Everything from the artwork, the jokes, the humor. It's so me. Well, I think it kind of made me who I am in terms of humor, right? So yeah.
I definitely ripped off every kid draws their own comics at some point in their youth. I definitely ripped off Mad magazine at some point.
Oh, you have to. It's like a rite of passage.
For me, a lot of my strongest memories of Mad magazine are, again, right here. We'd come up to the cottage. My dad would buy me a comic book or a Mad magazine, or sometimes both. And I scored some great ones from Max's sale, and they're in pretty decent shape, all things considered. But this one's from 1976.
Oh, wow. Classic.
This is the oldest one I have. 50 cents cover price. I don't know what they sell for now. Do you still buy new issues?
No. I prefer the old stuff up until the 90s. After that, I kind of lost interest. I don't know. They probably sell for about $5 easily now.
Yeah, that seems to be par for the course.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I understand today's humor, today's kids. But certainly there's a signature style of art here,
Yeah.
isn't there? Yeah. And of course, Alfred E. Newman on the front. And on the back, of course, we have the Mad fold-in, which I'm not going to fold because
wow, that's pristine. It was never been folded.
It's never been folded. And, it's hard to explain if you've never seen a Mad fold-in, but essentially there's sort of like a riddle there in the text, and the picture itself, you fold it in upon itself, and it forms a slightly different picture and a solution to the riddle, basically.
Yeah. It's how they came up with this stuff is beyond me. Like, it's so smart.
I was trying to explain this Mad fold-in concept to Jen, and Chris Sarr, he's still got most of his. That's cool.
Hold on to them, Chris. Hold on to those.
I was trying to explain this Mad fold-in concept to Jen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan the back page into the computer and then digitally fold it in.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Also have a Cracked. Remember Cracked?
I have quite a few Cracked as well. Yeah. Yeah. I love Cracked. For me, they always went hand in hand. They're like two of the same, basically.
Yeah.
Very similar. You have
Cracked always did a lot of photographic art.
Yeah.
But,
what I liked about Cracked is that they were very much into the superhero comics, right? Like they spoofed a lot of like the Superman, the Batman, like.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And they always had like the super special. I love those as a kid.
This one's from 1984.
Oh, nice.
I sometimes in my memory get Mad and Cracked mixed up, like which issues I had.
Yeah. That's easy to do because they're, like I said, they're so similar.
Yeah. Let me see here. We got more Mad. This one here came with a vinyl record at some point, but the vinyl record's missing. But imagine that, a vinyl record on the front. Probably a flexi, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure it was.
Summer 1980.
Man.
Plus the usual assortment of trash from past issues.
I love that there is so much self-deprecating humor in Mad. Like it's always the usual gang of idiots.
Yeah. And they would always be making fun of the editor, Gaines. I can't remember his first name all of a sudden.
Me neither. It's escaping me. But yeah, those the lighter side of in every issue. That I love those. They're so funny and so well written.
This is an extra large issue, it seems to be. But I can't wait to just enjoy these this weekend. Here's the really special one to me. The Star Wars issue.
Yes.
I never had this as a kid. I had The Empire Strikes Back, but not Star Wars.
I don't have that one. Yeah, that's a classic cover.
It is. Let's see if I can find some of the. There we go. Great artwork. It's fantastic artwork there.
Yeah. A lot of detail went into putting those together.
So much. We would try to copy, as kids, we would try to copy this stuff, and we'd never could. It's fantastic. I can't believe the scores at Maxi Axe's garage sale. We're just scratching the surface here. Speaking of Star Wars, check this out.
Is that a comic? No, that's a magazine.
It's sort of a magazine, but it's more of like a poster. It's a fold-out poster. Is that upside down?
Yes. If it was worth something before.
There we go.
Wow.
And I swear to God, I had this as a kid, and I had this on my wall. I swear I have such. Like, I know I've seen this before. I know I have.
That's cool. So how much was Max selling these for?
I don't remember because nothing had prices on it.
Okay.
And everything I asked him about, he's like, Google it and see what it's worth. And I was like, dude, most garage sales that I've had in the past, I figured out a price and wrote it on the tag. He's like, well, that's your job. So literally, I'm going on eBay and looking these things up, and I'm saying this one's worth $15. The Star Wars one, I think, was selling for $33.
Oh, wow.
I cannot remember how much each individual item was, but we paid him $90 for the entire haul, which included this issue of Meat Magazine. Now, I already have this issue, but I figured a second copy, who cares?
Yeah, because you never come across them.
This is their first anniversary issue.
Very cool.
Meet,
Very cool.
which originally stood for Metal Events Around Toronto.
Mhm.
Although that was an improvised title. Drew Masters just dropped the periods in there because it looked cool, like the name Wasp.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, what does it mean? He's like, Metal Events Around Toronto.
And it works.
And it worked for a short while. Then they became super national, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what this magazine is, but it has Lee Aaron on the front cover. It's called Hot Wax. And it seems to be specifically, I think, specifically about female artists. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Lee Aaron, Carol Pope, Lydia Taylor. I don't know if Lenny Kay is a female artist. Hollywood certainly sounds like that might be a woman's name.
A woman's name, yeah. Like a stage name. Never heard.
250. Lots of reviews of like female fronted bands. Bitch was the name of a band.
I feel like I've heard of them. Never heard the band though.
The lead singer. Oh shit! My computer just. Ooh, jeez. Betsy Bitch was the name of the lead singer of Bitch.
What if that's your real name?
Anyway, I don't know anything about this. Maybe some helpful viewer will help me identify this and what it's all about. I don't think Lee Aaron's particularly proud of that period of her career, but I really don't know that for a fact. And finally, he insisted I take this. This was sort of like a free throw in.
Okay, it's like a newer one.
It doesn't come with the flexi disc, but it's about Ghost. So hey, I'm down with that.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's the paper part of the haul.
So far, so good, man. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So those too young to know forget that 35 odd years ago, 35 years ago, dude, these were a common sight. Well, not necessarily this specific title, but this package, the CD long box.
The long box, yeah. I vaguely remember them. I have vague memories from when I was a kid, but they were gone. They were gone pretty quick. They look cool, man. You get more artwork.
Do you happen to know the reasoning behind this?
I don't.
Okay. Well, when I started working at the CD store that, you know, my record store tales are about, our shelving was sort of formatted to hold this. And the reason being is if you take two of these side by side, that was a bin for vinyl. So they'd put a divider in there and you could have two rows of CDs like this in the same bins that used to hold vinyl, but also it's a security measure. It's a little bit harder to stick under your shirt.
Right.
Not much harder, but a little bit harder to stick under your shirt.
Yeah. It's a little more awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right that it's, you know, you get more packaging, which is great. More artwork.
Yeah.
And Tim Derling was kind of surprised to see this one in a long box. I guess maybe a CD single in a long box might be a little bit.
Well, yeah, I was surprised too. What's funny because I have the CD single for that Highway to Hell, the same version. The
It's a different cover, right?
Different cover, and mine only has 3 tracks. It has Highway to Hell, and then 2 non-album tracks, which I can't, for the life of me, recall right now. But there's only 3, and yours has 4. So I'm wondering, mine's an import.
Yours is probably from Europe, I'm guessing. This is an American pressing.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, pretty sure it's from Europe. I'd have to. Again, I'm not at home, so I can't whip it out. But yeah, yours has 4 tracks, which is cool.
The last time I remember seeing a long box in a store was in the United States in the early 90s. I think 90. When did Images and Words from Dream Theater become big? It was whatever summer that was.
92?
That was the last time. I think so. I think it was 92. And so that was the last time that I really remember seeing a long box in a store. And it was Dream Theater's Images and Words in a store in somewhere in Michigan. We used to go to Michigan every spring for a vacation. Yeah. So, speaking of Mr. Derling, he likes these weird things.
Someone should write a book about those things.
Someone should write a book about these things.
Oh man, Tim, shout out! I'm actually seeing Tim tomorrow. We're going to.
Yes, I know. We're going to talk about that for sure before you depart. But he likes these weird cartridges. I don't think Jen even knew what this was when we picked it up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even think she knew what it was. But it features my favorite Led Zeppelin track, Rock and Roll Beginning and Rock and Roll Conclusion.
It's a saga.
It's a saga. And then we have the cassettes, which I alluded to earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I never had this one on cassette as a kid. Poison's Flesh and Blood. I always had the CD.
And that seems to be, I don't know, there's a bit of a glare, but it seems to be the censored cover, no blood.
Correct. You are correct. Yeah, no blood. Van Halen, Women and Children First. Another one, again, I didn't get until the CD era, and a little bit too much glare. There we go. That's about as good as I can get it.
Probably one of my favorite Van Halen albums. I love it.
Definitely. It's definitely a favorite. Another one I only ever had on CD.
Another favorite, yeah.
However, again, Strong Cottage Memories, summer of 1991, my best friend Bob said, guess what? I got a full-time job, so I'm coming to stay at the cottage with you guys for a week for a vacation before I start my job. And I was like, cool. And he had an open invitation to always come here.
Nice.
So my parents were cool with it. I was cool with it. And this is what he rocked in the car that entire week. And we played this tape backwards and forwards. And there is a funny record store tale about that very week that you will enjoy reading yourself. We all decided to get our ears pierced that weekend or that week. My cousin from Alberta, who's 4 years younger than me, my cousin, or 3 years younger than me, was visiting at that exact same time. We all went into town to this hair salon called The Clan. Because this is a Scottish town, so clans, we went in there and like, hey, John T. Snow's in the house. Oh, and Maxi Axe was not selling Playboys, Chris.
Hey, John.
My cousin decided to go first, and they used the old piercing gun and put an earring in his ear, and he goes, ow! At that point, Bob and I started going, I don't really feel like doing this. And Bob's like, I'm starting a new job. I don't really think I should have an earring. And I was like, you know what? I don't really want one either. And so we caught so much shit because basically we were accused of conning him into getting this earring, which we kind of did, but kind of didn't, because I was legitimately chickening out. Like, that was a legit chicken out. It wasn't a fake chicken out.
So did your cousin hold on to it for a while? Did he keep it?
As far as I know, he still has it, but I'm not certain. He definitely had it well into his 20s.
Okay, there you go.
Next up, Metallica's Black Album, heavily scuffed. You can barely see it. But unfortunately, this one has Master of Puppets inside, which is really how faded that is.
Wow, yeah, that was
clearly
love.
says Master of Puppets. So, you know what? I'm going to keep it anyway.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm not going to return it.
Imagine, Max, I got to bring this back. Oh, nice.
Yeah. This was, again, a cottage tape. My grandma used to just buy me random tapes for just gifts. And I believe Van Halen Diver Down came from my grandma. And it was the kind of thing that the family could listen to in the car, because there's so many, like, Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now.
Yeah.
Was a song that the whole family liked. And there were many of those on this that the whole family liked. Dancing in the
Happy
Street.
Trails.
Happy Trails.
I love it. What a great sign off.
I put that on my grandma's answering machine once and gotten shit for that. And then Ozzy Osbourne, No Rest for the Wicked. Another cassette I had as a kid and played the shit out of up here.
It's such an overlooked album, I find. You don't hear people talk about it as much.
I prefer it to No More Tears myself.
I think I do too. But yeah, if I had to pick between the two, yeah.
I think that's it for my Maxi Axe scores. I think that's the whole ship.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, there was one more thing. The $90 that we spent also covered a brand new carbon monoxide detector. There's a story here. Last Thursday night, Jen and I were sitting at home, and we heard a strange beeping sound coming from the hallway. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. And Jen's like, oh, shit, that's the carbon monoxide detector. So I checked the code for what 2 beeps means, and it means the unit had failed and it needs to be replaced. Well, damn, I couldn't figure out how to turn off that beeping sound. Couldn't figure out where the battery compartment was. And in a lot of these, the batteries are built in now. So I thought, what the hell am I going to do with this beeping thing? I'm just going to throw it in the dumpster. So I went outside and I threw it in the dumpster, the empty dumpster, which amplified said beeping sound for the next 2 to 3 days. The dumpster, my unit in our condo is the closest unit to this dumpster, and I could hear people all freaking night, and I'm like, well, that's what I deserve. I deserve that. But anyway,
That's karma. That's karma.
that's karma. But on the other side of karma comes this carbon monoxide detector that we bought from Max the Axe. Jen was going to go to the mall and buy a brand new one, but we were at this garage sale. He had 5 sealed in the box carbon monoxide detectors.
Meant to be.
There we go. We got a brand new one from Max the Axe's garage sale, and that is the end of this saga.
Well, for $90, I think you scored. You got a carbon monoxide detector, a tape deck, awesome tapes, Mad magazines. Dude,
I did great.
that's money well spent.
Awesome. And in addition to that, I'm going back next weekend, and he has some kites, some really cool kites. And I shouldn't be saying this, but my sister's not going to watch this show. So anyway, I'm going to buy one of these kites as a gift for my sister because she loves kites. Hey, Chris Fuss in the house. They never die during the day. It's always in the middle of the night. The carbon monoxide detector. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Same thing for smoke detectors.
Tell me about it. And also, our condo has a lot of false alarms, and they always seem to happen somewhere in the 2 a.m. range.
Yes. Same. Well, we live in an apartment building as well, and I don't know how many times the smoke alarm, like the fire alarm goes off. We all have to vacate the building. Last time it happened was in the dead of winter. 2 a.m. You know, we have 2 kids. We had to dress the kids, put on their winter coats. And like, why? It was a false alarm, of course, but it's like, why does that always happen in the middle of the night?
Why, indeed. I don't understand. But hey, I'm glad that I'm not alone in this experience because it's freaking annoying. And I got to be honest with you, this is probably really bad, but there's so many false alarms. We don't even vacate the unit anymore. I just watch from the window. And if I did need to vacate, I could climb over my balcony. But, anyway,
so I don't smell smoke. I ain't going out until I'm smelling smoke.
It's like only once in the last 20 odd years that I've been living there has there been a legit fire.
Yeah,
but about 100 false alarms. So many false alarms. I don't know how much time you have to stick around, but I have more stuff to do. I've got some unboxings to do.
Check my phone. See if my ride is here. I think I'm good for another few minutes.
All right, well, let's do some unboxings then.
Yeah.
I have three CDs here. And this one here, if you recall, I did an episode of Grant's Rock Warehouse last month. And we talked about a band called the Neurotic Outsiders, featuring Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols. And I always buy something when I'm on Grant's Rock Warehouse. Always buy something after the show. The first time it was a Darkness double live. And this time it was brand new Rock Candy remastered Steve Jones Fire and Gasoline from 1989. The album, I believe it was co-produced by Ian Astbury of The Cult.
Wow, never heard of it.
I've never heard a single track off of this. I've been dying to hear this for years. It was kind of an obscure release, surprisingly, considering the names involved, and there's more names inside. None on the front. Has a bonus track, cover of Suffragette City, the Bowie classic.
Nice. So that looks like a nice reissue. Is that Rock Candy or?
It sure is. Yeah.
Nice. I recognize the hype sticker.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are a lot of people that specifically collect these, and they line them up on their CD shelves. And kudos to those people, man. Kudos to those people.
I don't have one single Rock Candy, but I'd have to eventually.
I can recommend some to you. Now, from here on in, I don't know what we have inside. I order a lot of stuff, and I often forget what it is.
Well, it's better that way. It's like Christmas.
It is, exactly. Logic. Oh, yeah. I remember this. Band out of Quebec, featuring Rick Hughes.
Dude, what is that? What is that?
Sword 3. The original lineup.
When did this come out?
2022, according to the liner notes on the back.
I'm going to have to tell my buddy Pla. He introduced me to Sword, and I was aware they had 2 albums, Metal Eyes and Sweet Dreams.
Yes, sir.
I had no idea they had a Sword 3.
Sword 3, my friend.
You just blew my mind, dude.
I need that Saints and Sinners album that also has Rick Hughes singing.
Oh,
I need that as well. I'll just read the front sticker here. The third studio album of the Canadian true power metal legends Sword, produced by Mike Plant, who was the lead guitar player.
Okay.
Mixed and engineered by Glenn Robinson at Madam Wood Studios and Scalagio Sound in Montreal.
Nice. I wonder what the lineup situation is, if it's still fairly much
Identical. It's the same,
Is
same
it?
lineup.
Even
Same
better.
4 guys. Rick Hughes and his brother Dan Hughes. I think I have that right? The drummer is Dan Hughes.
Maybe I forget his name.
Mike Larocque is the bass player. I hope that's his real name. And Mike Plant is the lead guitar player. And it's the same 4 guys.
I love it. Oh, I'm curious about that.
Saw it for a good price on Amazon and went for it.
Oh my God. Those
I
first
have
two
the other
albums
2.
Yeah.
Oh, and not only that, Jax, there's more Sword. There's more Sword besides those 2. One moment. Let me go into my folder here so I can read my titles. There's definitely a best of with some live tracks on it.
Yeah.
And Live at Hammersmith, a single CD live album. So there is other Sword out there.
Look at that.
And Chris Thuss, I in all seriousness, it's not a lie. I also have 5,000 CDs, but
jeez.
So far we're striking gold all around.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm like, what's next?
By the way, I just want to say thanks for everybody who's watching. Views are great this afternoon. I can't believe how great they are. I'm going to be doing this a lot more often this summer in this time slot.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody. If there's any first timers out there, welcome to the show. Yes, we've been talking about this band a lot. The Arkells from Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah, that's a name I've heard. I don't know if I've ever heard the band. I may have heard songs not knowing it's them.
I've sent you some probably obscure video clips of me like lip syncing tracks probably at this point.
Oh, okay. That'll probably
maybe. I can't remember what I've sent you at this point. I only have one studio album from them, which is the 2014 record, High Noon, which Jen and I listened on the way to the lake. We listened to the whole thing. Freaking, it blows my mind every time I play it. It is so melodic, so memorable. The lyrics are brilliant. They remind me of being 25. There's a song on there called God, I can't remember. They all blur together. We've been listening to it so much. There's a song in there where he's talking about if you call Leather Jacket, call me up on a payphone, I'll be right there. Dude, when I was 25, the girl I liked called at like 3 a.m. from a payphone, and she got separated from her group of friends, and I was like, I'll be right there, 3 a.m. And she was like at a corner of a Dairy Queen somewhere in town, and I picked her up and brought her back to her friends, and they were all like, oh, thank you so much for bringing her back. And I had to work the next day, and they talked me into staying until like 6 a.m.
Mike the hero.
Like songs, these guys' songs remind me of being in my 20s.
That's
and
awesome,
I love them. I can't wait to dig more into their sound. This is the previous album to the one that I have, and it has a track on here that I know called Whistleblower, which rocks.
What year was this? What year did that come out, Mike?
There's a sticker over it, but I think it says 2012. First time, long time listener, first time caller. Chris Thuss has been on the show before. He was on in the previous incarnation when it was called LeBrain Train.
Yeah, the name rang a bell. Yeah. I recognize the name.
We did a show on pranks when the new Jackass movie came out, and we kind of celebrated the new Jackass movie by doing a show on pranks because Chris Thuss was the office prankster when we used to work together. He was the office prankster. So we did a really good show on pranks. And you don't know this because we didn't know each other back then. But when I first started doing this in 2020, the second or third show that I did, I started getting prank phone calls. And it was a fellow by the name of Michael Morwood, and he was using an app. And he was using an app to connect Uncle Meat and myself together as if I was calling him. But from my perspective, he was calling me. So literally, I'm answering the phone and I'm like, let's take this call. And I'm like, LeBrain Train. And Uncle Meat's on the other end. And he goes, what? And I said, you just called the LeBrain Train. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, yeah, you're live right now. You're live, Uncle Meat. And he's like, what are you talking about? You called me. You just called me. And I'm like, dude, my phone just rang. Like, you're live with me right now. And he's like, I don't care if we're live. And he hung up. And then it happened like 3 more times that night.
Man, it's crazy that you could actually do that now. Connect to other people's phones. That's scary. That's a scary thought.
Chipmunk.
Oh,
Chipmunk. Oh my God, Jexus is the first chipmunk since like July of last year. We thought
are you able to move the
He's
camera?
right here. He's right here. Oh my God. I'm
Try to
gonna
move
try
the
to get
camera.
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to log in from my cell phone here,
Yeah.
and then I
Get a
can use
chipmunk
it.
shot.
We don't want to miss this if we can. We thought this guy was a goner. We thought he was a goner. We thought the fox got him or a cat or something. Okay. Trying to sign in. Enter studio. I'm going to have to mute one of these two microphones.
Okay. Folks,
Mute. Okay.
there is a chipmunk sighting. It could
Okay.
be either Alvin, Simon, or Theodore. We're not sure.
Oh, it's added. Okay, I see that.
We'll feedback.
How's that? Not good. Okay.
Echo, cool.
I'm going to mute myself.
Oh, wow. He's right there. He's right there in the chair next to you. I didn't realize how close he was. It's the beauty of nature, folks. You never know.
Okay, so I'm going to leave this.
Nope. Feedback.
I'm not going to leave this on. I am so happy. I am so happy that
I
happened.
didn't realize how close he was to you. I thought he was at a distance, but he's at Chipperdale. I like it.
I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe my mom's not watching.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
true.
That was wild. I've been waiting like 2 years to do to have something like that happen.
That's the beauty of doing the show, not only live, but from the great outdoors in nature. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what's going to happen next.
He's coming back. I might be the lucky guy who's going to be posting lots of chipmunk videos this weekend. We'll see what happens.
There you go. There you
I
go.
was going to read from Tim Derling's book Unspooled, but I'll wait until you leave.
Yeah. Did you have another? I have time for one more package if you have any other unboxing.
That's it. Just those three. But let's talk
Okay.
about the expo tomorrow.
Yeah. That's a good idea before I sign off. So tomorrow, Tim's coming into town. I'm in Moncton, New Brunswick, and Tim's going to be in town tomorrow, and we're going to be hitting up the annual Spring Expo. Takes place every spring, and it's organized by a buddy of ours, Marty LeBlanc, and he does a great job putting this together. It's $5 admission, and then you just do some crate digging. Oh, there you go. He's got the beverage. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's a new venue this year called the Coverdale Center, which we thought is kind of appropriate. We're like, well, we have to buy something Deep Purple or Whitesnake. I mean, you gotta. So I'm looking forward to it. It's I don't really have anything. I have a small budget that I'm bringing, so don't really have anything specific. I'd like to find some Max Webster. I've been in kind of a Max Webster kick since the Kim Mitchell concert we went to a few weeks back. So and some Cheap Trick. I just realized recently, man, I don't have enough Cheap Trick.
I smell Deke's influence there.
But not really. It just kind of happened on its own. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, because I was looking through my collection. I have two. I have In Color and Live at Budokan, and I was like, I need more, especially Dream Police, which I love. I have it on CD, but I'm like, I need Dream Police on vinyl because that is a terrific album. And it's usually.
Sorry. No, keep going.
Oh, I was gonna say I've come across it so many times in the past. It's always like $5 or something, and I always passed it up. I'm like, so I need to rectify that. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I go there not having much in mind, and I always come across gold. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure Tim's going to take a video and post it on his channel.
I hope.
Yeah.
I was going to say, speaking of nostalgia, Cheap Trick, strangely enough, that was my sister's band more than mine.
Really?
I discovered Cheap Trick in our house in 87 or 80, more like 88, I think, when The Flame was huge. I think we've talked about how that's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen a guitar with 5 necks before. So that just like set my imagination aflame. I would draw pictures of guitar during my lunch break and, why not have 6 necks? Why not make one of them a bass? Why not make one of them a keyboard neck? Stupid stuff. But my sister, for whatever reason, she's the one that bought Lap of Luxury by Cheap Trick. And then she got busted. And then I think Live at Budokan, a lot of them weren't in print at that point in the 80s.
I wasn't catching on.
Tonight.
You said she got busted. I wasn't catching on. Like, busted
Busted
for
the
what?
album. Yep, the 1990 Cheap Trick album, Busted.
I caught on after.
But yeah, like there were very few that were in print. Live at Budokan was in print. Heaven Tonight was in print. Dream Police, I think she had to get on vinyl.
Oh.
And I found a used copy of Next Position, Please, with 2 bonus tracks on the cassette. And I like Next Position, Please. I think that's a great album.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard it, if I'm being honest.
Now, don't take my word for it. Deke is the expert, and Snowman is too. But Next Position, Please. I actually quite like that album. There's some good Cheap Trick on there. And yeah, that's my Cheap Trick memory, is that they were more my sister's band, which you wouldn't expect.
That's cool,
she had great taste in music at one point, like getting into the late 80s. She was into Rod Stewart. She was into Cheap Trick. She was into Glass Tiger, Honeymoon Suite. You know, very cool rock. A lot of really cool rock bands in her background.
Yeah. That's cool. I feel like good music was an important part of your household. I don't know. I have that feeling. Like
started with my mom and dad. My dad more so with Johnny Cash.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, my dad as well. Yeah,
Johnny Horton.
Okay.
My mom brought in like Willie Nelson and Roy Orbison.
Yes.
And the Beatles. Never quite got into Elvis, but my mom did have Elvis.
Yeah, my dad was Beatles and Elvis, big time.
So we were raised on the Beatles, both of us. I have a Beatles memory, very strong memory. Remember the old TV show, The Prisoner?
Yes.
I am not a number. I am a free man. So they were running The Prisoner a lot on whatever station, PBS. I'm thinking it was 1990-ish. And I remember, I think it was the series finale. There's like a massacre scene to the music of All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. And it's such a strange juxtaposition of imagery. You know, all you need is love with this.
Yeah, death. And
this is also a 33-year-old memory we're talking about here too. But
right.
I was struck by this Beatles song. All You Need Is Love. Like I'd never heard it before. And it's so cool with it. It's so cool. It was so unique. And I wanted to learn more about the Beatles. So I bought my mom for Mother's Day. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes.
I bought my mom, I think it was called like 20 Greatest Hits or something like that. And it spanned the beginning of the Beatles to the end of the Beatles. And we listened to that in the car a lot on the way to the lake. But my tendency was to be drawn to the later stuff. I really loved All You Need Is Love and Let It Be and the later stuff.
Yeah. The psychedelic years.
More so. Yeah. I find that just to be brilliant stuff. And
yeah. I wouldn't call myself a huge Beatles fan, but I definitely appreciate the band, and I like what I heard. Like I said, there's nostalgia because of my dad, so I enjoy every now and then. I'll put on some Beatles, but it's not a band I seek out, but I do definitely appreciate them.
I think I have all the Beatles I need. I have all the albums in the stereo box set and the mono box set.
Oh, wow.
Little known fact for you. You might say to yourself, well, Mike, why would you want the mono box set over the stereo box set? Here's a little known fact. For most of the Beatles albums, the Beatles themselves were involved with the mixing of the mono versions, but the stereo versions were more left to studio guys. The Beatles were not hands-on with the stereo mixes. It was more the mono mixes that delivered the actual vision that the Beatles were going for. So that is why I prefer the mono box set.
I feel like I've heard that in the past, that the mono was more sought after than the stereo mixes.
I believe when they were big, mono was the more dominant format.
Yeah. But I feel like they reissued the CDs. It was probably about 2009 or something. And it was a big deal. It's like, mono.
That's the one.
Right?
Yeah. Otherwise, you would have had to track down an old record and, money.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
well, Mike, on that note, I'm going to have to wrap things up. I'll let you continue. I got to go head home and have some supper, spend time with the family. But thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Jex. Check your instant messages throughout the weekend for more videos that I hope are like that Chipmunk buddy. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate it. And you have a wonderful weekend and good luck tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure you're going to see some finds on social media on Jex Russell's Vinyl World and Tim's Vinyl Confessions as well. So stay tuned, everybody.
You can also check out a video report on the Kim Mitchell show on Tim's Vinyl Confessions YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. We had a blast. All right, folks.
Take care, buddy.
Weekend, everyone, and happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
See ya.
Ciao. Well, folks, I'm going to conclude this show with a song like we always do. What shall we play? I guess I get to pick, don't I? Scales of Justice? No, you know what? Victim of Changes. Have a great weekend, folks. Happy Mother's Day. Don't forget to grab a stack of rock. Ciao.
A little bit of Judas Priest. Whiskey woman, don't you know that you are driving me insane? Leaving you kisses your wheels to laugh and gets right to my brain. You try to fight your way through life, try to get to new direction. Another woman's got a plan. She can get to lose infection. Oh yeah. Takes enough, but you ain't got so. Things are better when she's a fool. Take another look around, you're not going anywhere. You realize you're getting old, but no one seems to care. You try to fight your way again, try to get to love. Another woman's got a man. She can get you. Takes enough, but you ain't got so. Things are better when she gets through. You man, fooling, wisdom. Like I want to know why is it wine? Get up, get out. You know you really feel weird. I've had enough. I've had enough. Good God, fuck me. was wonderful. When she was mine, and she was wonderful. When she was mine, changes come over her body. She doesn't suit me anymore. Changes come over her body. She doesn't suit me anymore. Changes.
You know what? We still got people watching. You guys want to hear another song? That guy can wail, eh? That guy can freaking wail. You want to hear another one? This has got the time.
Another one. This is a little Anthrax song because we written by Joe Jackson called "Got the Time." Letter just right. Thank God, gotta get this letter just right. Little ringing on the telephone, way off, with a ringing in the head now. No such thing as tomorrow. Only 1, 2, 3, go time! The time tick, tick, ticking in my head. Turn! The time tick, tick, ticking in my head. Turn! The time tick, tick, ticking in my head. Ticking in my head. Ticking in my head. Ticking in my head. Someone doesn't what the time is. I don't know. They know I gotta go now. No time trying to get my watch repaired. No time, never got a thing to wear. Little ringing on the telephone, way off with the ringing in my head now. No such thing as tomorrow. Only 1, 2, 3, go time! For the time tick tick ticking in my head. For the time tick tick ticking in my head. For the time tick tick ticking in my head. Ticking in my head. Ticking in my head. Ticking in my head.
Thanks for watching, folks. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like at this time, 3:00 in the afternoon, but it was an awesome success. Thank you so much. We are definitely going to be doing this again this summer. I like doing this in the afternoon on the porch. For a historic show, first chipmunk sighting live on Grab a Stack of Rock that never happened before. Thank you everyone for watching. I am so happy. Fuck it. Let's play one more song.
Down in the street they got something going on. Don't tell my baby I'm going for the kids, son. Baby, she's been gone, and I can't do but wrong to my baby. Down in the street they got slogans for around. Old painted ladies on bright corners with blue hearts. Baby, she's been gone, and I can't do but wrong to my baby. Don't cry for me as I tear out my own heart. This misery is mine, it's all I got. So let me be. They all know what I see. Down in the street they got something for everyone. Don't tell my baby I've gone for the kids, son. Baby, she's been gone, and I can't do but wrong to my baby.
I feel like you guys are keeping asking for encores here. There's still people watching. Well, you know, we can't have a show talking about Max the Axe's garage sale without playing some Max the Axe. This is the last song for real. This is Max the Axe. Gods on the radio. Have a great weekend.
Fuck off!
Gods on the radio. You got Buddha on the audio. Scott Bale on the telephone. Dan Rather at Presidio and putting all the knowledge in the same game. Mark on the stereo. You got rum in your Cheerio. Lift up from the get-go. Grabbing all the spoon in the multiple
You guys are seriously still watching. Well, I, for one, don't advocate drugs.
Crown Royal apple. Slaint.
Captain Courageous, next plane to Vegas. I gotta go. Not so
You want more? Grab a stack of rock? You want more? Here's some pygmy blow dart.
Blow dart. Let's go.
You know I gotta get around. I gotta find around. I think I'm going downtown and looking for some smoke. When I get it from my friends again. Then I get it from my friends again. Then I find it, I get it downtown again. And then you know it, I'm looking for some dough. You know I gotta get around. I gotta find around. I think I'm going downtown and I'm looking for some dough. When I get it from my friends again. Then I get it from my friends again. When I find it downtown again. And then you know it, I'm looking for some dough, but you don't. You know I gotta get around. I gotta find around. I think I'm going downtown and I'm looking for some dough. When I get it from my friends again. Then I get it from my friends again. When I find it, I'm getting downtown again and again. Then you know it, I'm looking for some dough, some dough. I gotta get around, 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 I gotta get around. Go!
Nice. It was a hybrid.
So raise up that beer.
Thanks for watching, folks. I think that's about it for now. Chris Thus, if you are still watching, Chris Thus, attention, Chris Thus, if you are still watching, I need to talk to you. Can you give me a call? Can you give me a call on Facebook Messenger or like video chat? Would you do that? I would like, hang on, there's a comment here. Jeez, and another viewer. Okay, I tell you what, we'll play another song. But can you give me a call at some point this weekend? I'd appreciate that. What haven't we heard yet? Oh, we haven't heard Overload. We haven't heard Overload. Let's do Overload. on Grab a Stack of Rock featuring Max the Axe. Thank you, Max, for all of the scores at the garage sale. Pity to those who didn't show up. There was a lot of scores. This is Overload. Chris, give me a call this weekend.
Max the Axe in costume tonight with red hat.
He's kind of a big deal.
By the way, welcome to Mike 2.0. I am looking and feeling great. I haven't been this thin in years. I've cut down. I know I'm drinking soda right now. I've cut down on the soda. I'm doing walks. I feel great. I hope you notice the difference. And I've got a fucking suntan too. That never happens. So you guys are still watching. And as long as you guys are still watching, I guess I'll keep playing some songs. We haven't heard Call of the Wild yet. Here's Max the Axe with Call of the Wild.
wanted just to see her smile. She'll wander and wait all the while. When I'll be getting the call of the wild. Call of the wild. Call of the wild. Call of the wild. Call of the wild.
That was a song featuring Uncle Meat on lead vocals called Call of the Wild. Now, interestingly enough, Uncle Meat doesn't particularly like that song. I think the way he described it to me was too Dokken-ish. Max the Axe likes that song. He considers it a good classic rocker. I think it's the weakest song on scales of Status Electric myself. I almost said Scales of Justice, because one of the songs we haven't heard yet is Scales of Justice. Now, this is the new remixed and edited version of Scales. It is not available yet. You can't buy it yet. This is only available on my YouTube channel. And I believe the band is unanimous in believing that this is the superior version of Scales of Justice. Enjoy.
Waiting you whistle till dawn was a venomous decision. Because only a fool owns the deadly thing, let alone you. That's how it goes. When you kiss the serpent nose, it just goes to show that you should stick to your own. Whatever came over you when you stuck your hand down? Some struck on Band-Aid, the Band-Aid stuck on me. Yes, they did. That's how it goes. When you kiss the serpent nose, it just goes to show that you should stick to your own.
Let's try to make the show a full 2 hours. Let's keep it going to 5 p.m. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for hanging in, folks. I'm loving this. This has been an awesome weekend. Let's play some more. No, you know what? We don't want to hear any more Maxi X. Well, we're going to play more Maxi X. Who are we kidding? But let's play something different for this next track. Let's not play a Maxi X. Let's play a T-Bone Erickson song about Max the Axe.
Have you heard the unholy word of the six-string king uncrowned? The snakeskin troubadour that plays melodies from underground. Buzzing around again, filling your soul with sin, taking you places you've never been. A mind-bending ride that goes round and round again. With the crushing chords of the demon lords, he swings when he attacks. Beware the one they call Max the Axe. You can't hear the wind howl as his Mustang lays it down. Like razor blades in a sawdust haze, he unleashes the sound. Making you blind within, killing you slowly, then breaking your spirit to fight again. This carousel takes you down without a spell. With the screaming notes of the unsold notes, he dares you to relax. You're enchanted by the spell of Max the Axe. Look into his eyes and he'll desensitize your brain. Your willingness to resist is alarmingly mundane. The pain you'll feel tomorrow consumes his heart today. Your immortal resurrection is just illness away. So slowly then breaking your spirit again. Overwhelmed as the rhythm swells, you finally collapse. Your fate now in the hands of Max the Axe. Max the Axe. Max the Axe. Yeah.
Hey, Jen. You know, I'm still live, actually. There's been Chris Thuss is watching from work. He's enjoying some music. If you want to say hi to Chris Thuss. Chris Thuss, wow, Jen is here.
A chipmunk.
Oh my God. Okay. We're going to try to get the Chipmunk live. We've done this once. We're going to try to do it again.
Hi, everybody.
This is pretty cool. Going to my StreamYard here on my phone. We're going to, oh my God, he's right there. Okay, so we're going to mute me here. Well, that was... Oops. Well, that was brief, but you did see him.
That was Buddy.
That was the second sighting. We had one live when Jex was on.
Oh, cool.
And additionally, we thought that he was a goner. We thought he was dead. So we're absolutely thrilled he's still alive and still as cheeky as ever. I think, what is that what we called him? Did we call him Cheeky?
I think so, but I just call him Buddy.
Now, my mom has a name for him. She calls him Greedy Gretchen.
Greedy
We don't know. Boy, girl, chipmunks, we don't know. Anyway, there's Chris. How you doing, buddy? We're going to play another tune here. This is a favorite. Everybody loves this song. Everybody loves this song. This is called ODP. Thanks, Jen. Welcome back to Grab a Stack of Rack. What do we want to play next? Maybe we'll play, I don't think we've played this one yet tonight. This is Oktoberfest Cheer on Grab a Stack of Rock.
Oktoberfest cheer.
Editing on all these Max the Axe videos is so difficult because I have so very little footage of Max the Axe, the band. I basically have one song, which is Randy live at the Boathouse in Kitchener when they did their CD release party for Status Electric. And that's it. And I have a little bit of vertical video that they shot in a rehearsal and, some other miscellaneous stuff from Sausage Fest where Max was kind of there and Meat was kind of there. And that's it. I had to kind of make these videos from scratch. And I'm really proud of them. I'm really proud of the way they turned out. And, the music is fantastic. Meat is a fantastic singer. He's so gifted. And Chris Thus knows this story. And we'll talk about it because we played ODP. But when Jen and I first got married, we used to host Rock Band parties at our house. Remember Rock Band, the video game, right? So Uncle Meat was a fantastic singer. We had to have him over. And Jen had a couple of friends from when she worked at Research in Motion. And Chris and his wife, Lori, came over. Chris worked with me. And, having coworkers over and, relatively new coworkers as well. I'd only known Chris maybe a year and a half, 2 years. And Jen was brand new with her coworkers. It's kind of almost formal in a way. But Meat got up there and he sang The Trees by Rush. And he blew everybody away. He just blew everyone away. I remember somebody leaned over and said, that guy's really good. It might have been Chris and his wife, Lori. And then Meat's like, all right, got to go use the washroom. So he goes to use the washroom. And we're all sitting there in the living room waiting for him to return. And there was one of those moments, those awkward silences. We hear the toilet flush quite loudly. And Chris's wife, Lori, says, did he just pee with the door open? And we're like, I think he just did. He just peed with the door open. So he comes back into the living room. And we're all just kind of like waiting for him to walk back into the living room. And I said, hey, Meat, did you just pee with the door open? And if I'm not mistaken, he said, yeah, it's the open door piss. And that's where the song Open Door Piss. I thought I heard some Sooners, but no, I'm wrong. No Sooners. Anyway, that's where the song Open Door Piss comes from. Thank you, Chris Thus, for keeping the show alive for an extra hour, a whole extra hour. That's phenomenal. It was a fantastic experience for me to do this show with such beautiful weather and not at night. I'm going to get used to this time slot during the summertime when I'm at the lake. We're thinking doing shows maybe starting at 4:00 on some Fridays, 3:00 on other Fridays at the lake. No point, cutting out of work early at home. But when we're doing cottage weekends, I think we're going to do this. It seems to be a good time slot. Views were fantastic, much better than the last few evening shows. I'm absolutely thrilled with the way everything went today. And I thank you for watching. Will there be a show next week? I don't know. Maybe. That's how we do things. That's how we roll. I know Jex and Tim Derling, they were talking about, this expo that they're going to. So we might have them on to talk about the expo, or Tim might just do that on Tim's Vinyl Confessions YouTube channel. Doesn't matter. One way or the other. I want to have those guys back on. Oh, and I should tell you, I've been wanting to jump back into interviews. I've approached 2 musicians who've been on the show before when it was the LeBrain Train. They've both said yes. It's just a matter of booking them for a good time. Now, I'm going to be flexible about whether these are live interviews or taped interviews. We're not sure about that yet. But both of these guys have said yes. They both have new projects coming. And they're both fantastic fellows. Then there's another show that I have. I'm gonna go ahead and announce it because I'm pretty sure we're locked in. Last week on Twitter, I approached a guy that I have been following for over 10 years at least, television star called Spencer Rice of Kenny versus Spenny fame. And I approached him about doing a show about wrestling memories because he's a huge wrestling fan. You remember they did the Kenny versus Spenny episode, who is the best wrestler, and the Iron Sheik was involved with that episode. We won't go into any further detail about the Iron Sheik's involvement. Anyway, Spencer said, I'm in. So I need to lock him down for a time. I need to find out if he wants to go live. I told him I would take a day off work to do this with him. I'm very excited. I really like Spencer. And we're hoping to get either Marco Doria or John Clauser from the Contrarians on for the show too. It all depends on the scheduling. This is all very tentative, but Spencer said yes. So Spenny Rice, he's going to be on the show. I'm confident we're going to do this. I'm really thrilled. One more song before we go. I mentioned earlier that we only have basically one song worth of Max the Axe, and that's when I taped Randy live at the Boathouse when they did their Status Electric CD release party. And it was actually a really good recording. I just did it on my Samsung. I believe I was just holding it. I might have had it propped up on something. I can't remember. I can't remember exactly. But audio turned out great. Video turned out great. And I was kicking myself for not recording the entire show. I really should have recorded the entire show. But c'est la vie, right? You only live once. You only get to do it once. You learn. Next time, if Max the Axe ever plays live again. This is, we don't know. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. This was in my top 10 favorite shows I've ever done. Thank you. Randy by Max the Axe. This is really the end. I got to go make a steak. See ya.
See her, and I'll believe her.
believe, and I just realized this now on stage, I might be the only song Max has ever written that doesn't have a guitar solo.